Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At Enchain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Alrighty people, it looks like we are live just after 5. Let me just do a quick bit of DIY so we can see where we are. It looks like we are not there. Hold on. Oh yeah, there we are. Got it. I think I've got it. There we go. Looking foxy, I have to say. Right, loads of stuff to get into first of all. So let's just jump straight with it. Oh, looks like we've had a little bit of number go up there according to Prev. 285, but then the entire market is in the green. Everybody talking about Binance token at the moment, and nobody talking about the fact that Binance coin is just simply pumping Binance token. It's a joke. It's a complete farce. Yeah, anyway, we know that anyway. But check this out. This was posted by COPA. Clearly not coping very well with the fact that Craig is Satoshi. But they said today COPA initiated a lawsuit asking the UK High Court to declare that Mr. Wright does not have copyright ownership over the Bitcoin white paper. We stand in support of the Bitcoin developer community. What a load of crap is a centralized community because they don't understand what Bitcoin is. And the many others who've been threatened hosting the white paper. Well, we'll see what comes of this. And it looks like CoinGeek has done an article on this for us. So let's have a quick look at this. Being business. This was the one. Check it out. Luckily, our man SV Train, John Southhurst, on the ground reporting from within this situation. COPA launches High Court action against Craig Wright's Bitcoin copyright claims. The Crypto Open Patent Alliance announced it has filed a lawsuit in the High Court of Justice in England and Wales to declare that Dr. Craig S. Wright is not the author of the 2018 Bitcoin white paper. Oh dear, they're going to be in for a shocker. But rather than put a stop to Dr. Wright's claims as some hope, could it instead give Wright a chance to prove himself as Satoshi in court? Oh, well, I mean, what's happened to the PMAC case and all that? I know PMAC wasn't defending himself anymore. We stand in support of the Bitcoin developer community and the many others who've been threatened for hosting the white paper, COPA wrote in a Twitter post earlier, which is the one we just saw. COPA, sometimes also called the Cryptocurrency Open Patent Alliance, is a non-profit intellectual property pooling group formed by Jack Dorsey's Square in September 2020. Its stated aim is to prevent patent lockup by companies claiming ownership of key blockchain-related concepts that stifle innovation. But they don't understand decentralization. Bitcoin, as in like the one that Satoshi Nakamoto designed, Bitcoin BSV, is the only commodity. It's the only digital commodity because it is the only one that is truly decentralized that no one controls. You know, people are saying, oh, Krog and Calvin control it. They don't. They maintain it. They are accountable as any and everyone else who uses the network because the chain of signatures is still intact. That's how it works. Not like Segwit Coin, you know, Coolcoin BTC where they implemented Segwit, or Roger Ver and his crony mates where they implemented Schnorr signatures and stuff like that so people could get away with doing stuff on the network that nobody else would know about. It doesn't work that way at all. Keith Felly's joining me in the house. Thank you very much for popping in. Coinbase joined Square as a COPA founding board member in December 2020. Other members include Kraken, surprise, surprise, Satoshi Labs, BitPay, Bitbank, Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy, and Blockstream. Would you believe it? It also includes a Paradigm, an investment fund founded by Sequoia capital partner Matt Huang and Coinbase co-founder Thed Esam. After joining COPA, members are required to remain members for 3 years. What's all this about? A club. Joining the alliance entitles a member to access the shared patent library of foundational crypto patents, subject first to the approval of whoever holds the IP on a particular technology. COPA members like Square, Coinbase, and Blockstream have a clear financial interest in promoting the narratives that BTC and not BSV represents the genuine Bitcoin. Because we know that BSV is the only genuine Bitcoin. All the others are absolutely cheap shit centralized knockoffs. Coinbase is also facing an upcoming IPO, and the intellectual property it owns would play a key role in valuing the company in its prospectus. There's always money involved somewhere. Coinbase is noting that Dr. Wright's identity as Satoshi Nakamoto is a key risk to their IPO and valuation. However, they are trying to sweep this under the rug and are hardly mentioning any of the cases. In downplaying this, they are potentially breaching some securities regulations, and this could leave the directors of the company liable. Ooh. Disassociating the myth of Satoshi Nakamoto from the man Craig Wright is central to this narrative, given that Dr. Wright claims BTC core developers have radically changed the original Bitcoin protocol, which they have done, and are spreading false propaganda about its capabilities and purported limitations. Supporting BTC could potentially end up costing Coinbase billions of dollars, and the company's entire value may be consumed in subsequent actions. That's true, very true. Which could be why they want to promote this false status of BTC. Coinbase's SEC filing highlighted not only why the company needs BTC to succeed, again, everyone turning a blind eye to tether pumping it, but also why Satoshi's identity is a risk to their business, and that the IP rights of others and infringement claims against them may hinder their success, because they're a bucket shop. They need people to be trading shitcoins. That is it. It's outrageous. You know, when you think, well, I mean, I don't know if they started out with just BTC, but I know when I first logged onto their platform, it was BTC, Ethereum, and Litecoin, but that was 2016 around that time. Can't believe that was 5 years ago. Amazing. What a ride! What a journey it's been. BSV, Bitcoin SV, developers restored the Bitcoin protocol to its original form and original transaction processing rules in January to February 2020. In this sense, only BSV represents Bitcoin, and Bitcoin as it was originally promoted to the public. BTC does not follow the original protocol rules and is thus not actually Bitcoin. It's nothing like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a commodity, BTC is a security, it's digital dog shit, it's an absolute pile of shit. BTC may have the longest chain, not for long, as it often claims, but that chain is not Bitcoin's. Well, have a look at block numbers and stuff, block height and all that. Let's have a quick look. Comparison to block numbers. So Bitcoin is 682,729. And Coolcoin is, look, Coolcoin is only 679072. So Bitcoin is actually longer than Coolcoin, more blocks. But in terms of the size of the growth of the chain, we know which graph we're going to look at. This one. I mean, look at the acceleration, because this is the genuine Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. It is very soon. I mean, look at that angulation. It is very soon going to overtake that piece of dog shit, which is Coolcoin. You know, a load of crap. That scam coin. Background to the copyright claim and reactions. Dr. Wright registered copyright in the US to the 2008 Bitcoin white paper in May 2019, and earlier this year began to take legal action against sites and organizations that host the 2008 Bitcoin white paper without his consent. One of the groups targeted was Square's blockchain development subsidiary, Square Crypto, which started hosting the white paper in response to cease and desist letters by Dr. Wright's lawyers to those sites and organizations. While the 2019 registration covers the US, in the UK it's not necessary to register a copyright. This is automatically granted with the act of creating a work. Many BTC supporters who reacted to the news suggested it meant Dr. Wright was about to get his a comeuppance for those legal threats and for daring to claim copyright over the Bitcoin white paper in the first place. Somebody here, BTC Flyfisher, said, let's get this trash out of Bitcoin for good. Is there a donation address for COPA? Oh dear, I mean, BTC tards, you know, crackers. Some also repeated the meme that Dr. Wright is doing all this to prevent people from reading the white paper. For some reason, on the contrary, Dr. Wright and BSV supporters would prefer more people to read the white paper in order to see that BTC does not represent its vision. What BTC supporters are not noticing, or are deliberately ignoring, is that Dr. Wright's claim to have authored the Bitcoin white paper is a real one, and that he feels he has enough evidence to defend this claim in court. In fact, it's highly likely that defending it in court is something he wants to do. And let's just remind ourselves, shall we, of the statement that Peter McCormack put out after he was sued by Dr. Wright and then decided that he was then no longer going to defend his claim. What an absolute douchebag. It's around here somewhere. Come on, let's find this now. I know it's here. We all know it's here. There we go. Knew it was there somewhere. Here we go. This is why Peter McCormack was no longer defending his claim that Craig Wright is a liar and a fraud. Because he said here in his statement in a tweet, Craig Wright submitted a crazy amount of evidence that he is Satoshi in my lawsuit. What's your point? As if it doesn't make any matter if he is Satoshi or not, because he is a shitcoiner with shit for brains. Literally, absolutely nuts. Yeah, so I mean, see what he wants to do. Calvin here had responded to the claim form from COPA saying, oh good, this is what should have happened a long time ago. Stand and fight instead of running and only tossing insults while still engaging in your scams. We are all happy about this. I'm not really too happy about it. I mean, he doesn't really need to prove himself anymore. You know, it's just, if you ask me, it's just putting a target on his back. I mean, look, Bitcoin has already got 85.8% of the block size. That is the data flowing through the chain. You know, and as Craig has said before, you know, what you don't do is kick a gorilla in the nuts. You know, I don't think people will just realize over time, and very soon anyway. You know, because Bitcoin BSV is the only one that works like Bitcoin was designed to and created for, and just described in the white paper. It works. It is a commodity. Everybody will be using it. That is it. You know, and then it's just like, oh right, well, which person out of all these shitcoiners is the only one that has refused to compromise on the protocol of Bitcoin, that is absolutely adamant that Bitcoin is and always should be a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, as Satoshi Nakamoto designed and described in the white paper. He's the only one. He's the only one not talking absolute bollocks about Bitcoin as well in the room. You know, literally. I don't think any of this stuff is necessary. Kind of like bringing attention to the man himself. I think we're in a phase now where I honestly think the technology will speak for itself. Personally, that's what I think. In the years since Dr. Wright was first revealed to be and then came out as Satoshi Nakamoto, no other person has put forward a credible claim to be Bitcoin's creator. And just to prove that, we'll have Max Kaiser explaining that to us exactly. Let's see if I can find this clip here. Here we go. I think I've got it. Yeah, here we go. What does this say?
Who else has claimed that there's Satoshi outside of him?
Nobody.
Nobody's ever claimed.
That's right.
Interesting.
Yeah, who invented gold?
Crypto is man-made. It's slightly different. You know, it's.
I would argue that the inspiration for Bitcoin is divine, and that it reflects it reflects an inner divine nature of humans. So it is similar to gold in that way. If you believe that God created everything, including gold, then you would also believe that God created Bitcoin.
So you think God created Bitcoin?
What a douchebag. What a douchebag. Ah, this shitcoin is crazy. As many pointed out, when Dr. Wright initially registered his copyright claim, anyone can claim a copyright over a piece of writing. The only way it can be officially challenged is if a third party makes the same claim and takes legal action against it. So in launching his high court action, COPA may be doing exactly as Dr. Wright wished. It's worth noting that the definitions listed by COPA in their claim are erroneous, and as a result, this introduces the ability to argue what Bitcoin truly is and how it was hijacked. Oof. Oh, they don't even know what they're doing because they're that effing stupid. The case may go on for some time, but Dr. Wright will be prepared to fight for it as long as it takes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Never a dull moment in crypto, is there? Never a dull moment. You know, yeah. In fact, looking at this, we'll just have this picture up there for a second. We'll just simply now have Peter McCormack explain to us what has happened to Bitcoin since the white paper was created.
Bitcoin is so different now from when Satoshi was here. It's a completely different project. It doesn't matter who Satoshi is anymore. Even if Satoshi came back, I don't think he would just be immediately welcomed as having this God-given right to decide what happens with Bitcoin. I think he would have to earn his right back into the project. Bitcoin is built based on consensus now.
Are you sure about that, Pete? Because it didn't sound like it to me. And you think Bitcoin is based on consensus now? So why did Samson Mao, the chief strategy of Blockstream, the chief strategy officer at Blockstream who implemented SegWit, that broke the chain of signatures, that took CoolCoin under their control, says Blockstream controls it? Have a listen to this.
Bitcoin was created by the central bankers that enslave you today. It is their scapegoat.
How do you answer those, Max and Stacey?
I think the evidence is clear that they do not control it. There's 10 years, almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Who does?
Blockstream.
Oh, all right. I was looking at you when I said that. Yeah, I'm a block. I have a spy. I'm one of the spies. No, so this, it's an interesting.
It certainly is interesting that God created Bitcoin and now Blockstream controls it. Blockstream more powerful than God, are they, Max? Honestly, ridiculous. Well, I mean, this is why I think these shitcoiners are dangerous, because like they're honestly insane, you know. But let's have a look at this post and bring this picture up. Here we go. so we can see this claim form in all its glory. 9th of April 2021. So let's have a quick read of this then. In the High Court of Justice, Business and Property, Courts of England and Wales, Chancery Division, Intellectual Property List. Alright then, so claim form, blah blah blah. Claimant name and address including postcode. Crypto Open Patent Alliance, a non-profit mutual benefit corporation incorporated under the laws of the US state of California with its registered address at, redacted. Defendant name and address including postcode. Craig Stephen Wright, address redacted. Brief details of claim. This is a claim in relation to copyright in which the court is asked to rule upon the defendant's claim that he is the author of and owner of the copyright in the Bitcoin white paper. The claimant claims 1. Declarations that A. The defendant is not the author of the Bitcoin white paper. B. The defendant is not the owner of the copyright in the Bitcoin white paper. C. Any use by the claimant of the Bitcoin white paper will not infringe any copyright owned by the defendant. 2. An injunction restraining the defendant from A. Claiming he is the author of and or owner of the copyright in the Bitcoin white paper, and B. Taking steps which involve him asserting the same. Oh dear, oh dear. 3. An order that the claimant's opinion and that the expense of the defendant appropriate measures are taken for the dissemination and publication of any judgment or order made in this case. Oh dear, so it's going to be made official. 4. On costs, and 5. Further to other relief. Well, sit back and get your popcorn ready, folks. Oh my God. You know, again, I just, I don't think. Well, yeah. I mean, now, I mean, they brought the lawsuit now, so I think it's putting a target on his back. You know, I mean, Craig created Bitcoin. It is such a phenomenal. It is just the concept of Bitcoin is phenomenal. So, I mean, let me just try and sort of, explain it briefly. Digital data is an extension of our own freedom, because that is how we communicate now. We communicate using digital data. But at the moment, all the platforms that host our digital data are centrally owned and controlled platforms. Therefore, they have control over us. They have control over our communication possibilities. They have the power to edit it, delete it, wipe our profiles off. This is what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin creates a digital platform where we can now have our own communication expressed, and we have sovereignty over that data. And the way we have sovereignty over that data is by paying for it through a sovereign money. And that sovereign money is actually used to upload our data to the network, which gives us sovereignty over that data. It's amazing. So the value of Bitcoin is backed by our data sovereignty, which in return provides us with monetary sovereignty, because the commodity that's used to upload that data is Bitcoin, with it being fixed in supply and ticking all those 5 pillars of decentralization, which are accountability, chain of signatures, fixed protocol, locked protocol, so anyone and everybody can build on it, and it's permissionless, effectively almost like infinite scale. Competition, which is through proof of work, so that there is actually competition between those who economically sustain the network and we don't get collusion, and a fixed supply so that no one can control it. It's amazing. So I'm not concerned for Bitcoin, but the advice and guidance that Craig gives is just absolutely sensational. He created this thing, Personally, I just think it would be best if we just head down, crack on with building. Looking at the statistics. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be undeniable. All this proof of politics going into legal courts and stuff you're just drawing unwanted attention from shit coiners with shit for brains who are dangerous because they have shit for brains. They are stupid. They will do stupid things. They will do inconsiderate things because they are stupid. Which makes them dangerous. So stay away from them, really, you know. This was quite an interesting article here from Diane Keane. So this was, we've already mentioned it. I've already gone over this sort of article because CoinGeek did one on it, but we'll just remind ourselves quickly. Transmira announces partnership with Cognition to develop digital transformation solutions for intelligent architecture and smart cities. Again, I mean, it's huge. You know, I think we've already read this article, but yeah, Raleigh, North Carolina, April 7th. So this was 6 days ago. The Raleigh-based startup pioneering experimental reality, that's XR experimental technology, today announced that it has entered into a partnership with Cognition, the Philadelphia-based business building enterprise artificial intelligence technology for commercial property to develop digital transformation solutions for augmented smart cities and intelligent architecture. So again, I mean, the only platform that can be built on is Bitcoin, literally the only one. And that's massive. Somebody wrote there, huge. This was a statement from EHR Data, which is a real shame. It's a real shame. So it looks like, if you ask me, I think some dirty work has gone on behind the scenes here, really. A little bit of skullduggery, you know. So this is their third press release, and again, I mean, we were hoping that they would go. This was going to be a proof of concept, the first of its kind, pretty much. Certainly with medical records, where daters would own their own record. It would be on a single ledger, and then they could make money sharing their information rather than their information being sold behind their backs, you know, and strap them over a barrel, really. So, company update, April 2021. Sharpened focus. The opioid proof of concept in Missouri has been sidelined due to numerous obstacles outside the scope of EHR Data's current influence. Again, like numerous obstacles, it just sounds like, you know, I don't want to get all like conspiratorial, but, you know, we know that those, I say deep state, basically the power that sits behind the Federal Reserve, that uses the Federal Reserve chairman as a puppet, you know, that basically does all these off-balance sheet transactions. That group of people, you know, whoever it is they are involved in this now. So I would say they put these obstacles outside the scope of EHR Data's current influence. You know, the suspension of the project does not change our vision to develop the first ever blockchain-based health record that the patient's own controls and permissions. We deeply believe in our overarching mission. The last few months have afforded us the opportunity to focus 100% on developing the tools for a global patient platform. Now we are searching for those data partners and industry leaders who are ready to join us to change the world of patient care. As we have learned time and time again, we cannot be the only ones demanding the participation of major healthcare corporations. It will take a groundswell of people, patients, providers, corporate leaders, policymakers to push for a new norm of people owning their healthcare data or health data. We are all affected. As patients, we should not have multiple logins or dozens of portals. Yeah, it should all be on one. We should not have to play phone tag or shuffle paper copies to shared records between providers. We should be able to access every diagnosis, prescription, test result, treatment, etc. that we've been given ever. It's our data, it's already out there, and we should have the easiest access to it. Yeah, so it should all be in one place, on one single ledger. So it says, join the movement, EHR Data Wave Makers. Join us in changing the standards for health data by sharing your My EHR story and telling us about a time when you experienced obstacles retrieving, accessing your data, or gaps in communication between providers that affected the care you received. Yeah, I mean, people have died because of miscommunication. People have had wrong limbs amputated. Getting the, when somebody goes, not the left leg. Oh, so it must be the right leg, but all they it's something about the left leg, must be the left leg then. It's nuts. Tell us how having all of your health data in one digital location can benefit you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just worth reminding ourselves there, because we've still got half an hour coming up. I did write this article, so we'll just go over this one more time because I know I've got new people listening to my show. But to help yourself, satoshi.medium.com. You can all these articles are on Medium, so they're accessed freely. Anyone, my pleasure to give you all this information. So we'll just look at an article that I wrote about Bitcoin and the power of its decentralized distributed single ledger. Is it? There we go, got it. This one right here. Check it out. Lovely little picture there. Here's one I made earlier. So we'll just read this quickly. The power of its decentralized distributed single ledger. Many people think that Bitcoin is simply a cryptocurrency. What they fail to realize is that Bitcoin is the digital asset that economically sustains the creation of the world's first credible decentralized distributed single ledger. If a ledger were to be funded via external sources, the funding could simply be cut and the ledger disappear. The genius of Bitcoin is that it's a ledger that economically sustains itself and therefore has no central point of authority or control. This concept of a single ledger is the solution to many of the world's problems and will pave the way for huge technological advances. We'll use air traffic control as one example and the missing Malaysian Airlines flight MH370. The reason MH370 was able to disappear was that its flight path was diverted and it flew in and out of Malaysian and Thai airspace multiple times before heading out to the Indian Ocean. Each air traffic control operation is only responsible for flights within their own airspace, so once a flight leaves its airspace, the responsibility of the controller is relinquished. As MH370 flew between the two, neither were keeping track of it once it left their respective airspace. This meant that as it flew out of both airspaces for the final time, neither were responsible for tracking it or for raising the alarm. The reason each air traffic control operation takes responsibility for their own airspace is that it would be too great a risk for all such data to be under the control of a single authority that could effectively bring down the entire airline industry. This is the problem that Bitcoin's decentralized distributed single ledger solves. Now all the relative information for an industry like air traffic control can be collated and stored immutably on a single ledger because it's the ledger itself which is decentralized and distributed and therefore has no central point of authority or control. The same principle would apply to systems for driverless cars. It would be far too risky to have a central point of authority on such a system, whereas now everything can run on Bitcoin's single ledger. These are the types of technological innovations that Bitcoin could bring about in the not so distant future. Other such examples would be the sharing of medical information, which could be used to match organ donors, blood type, stem cell treatment, etc. Credit card companies that only have a network that scales for 1,700 transactions per second would benefit from the economies of scale using a network that can handle 1 billion transactions per second and requires no virus software, cybersecurity, storage facilities, maintenance, upkeep, upgrade, and insurance. Online computer gaming and gaming companies that store their records on huge servers could also save huge costs similar to the ones listed above for credit cards by simply using a single ledger. The list of possibilities is endless. Eventually, all digital services will run on the Bitcoin blockchain, including Google, Amazon, Facebook, Netflix, etc., because digital data is too precious to lose. Micropayments are what enables this type of technological innovation. A micropayment is simply a term given to the smallest movement of data that is still economically viable for a miner to process and enter onto the Bitcoin ledger, which is known as the blockchain. The only blockchain capable of these types of micropayments is the blockchain that follows the Bitcoin protocol defined by Satoshi Nakamoto in his white paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. This chain and protocol is called Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, known as Bitcoin SV, and has the ticker symbol BSV. Oh yeah, baby, we are BSV. Get in there. So tell you what we'll do. We'll just leave this. Oh, in fact, should we have that image up there in all its glory? There it is. Right, people. That's been a good show. 35 minutes. It is time for a dinging of the dong. Put your handles and paymails in the chat box. Let's do this. Shout out to people in the chat box. Keith Fellows, Matty Ray, Aaron Gootville, Sav Toshi, good to see you. Thank you very much for popping in. Connor G, and Reform Too Many Coiner. Excellent, excellent. Right, here we go. So I'll do the ones that I know that I can remember. Sav Toshi's an easy one. on the way to you, sir. Hold on a sec. Sending money. Suave Toshi. There we go. I've got dongs coming. Or duros even. Dong in that duro. Way. Turn the volume up on that bad boy. Orange Kick, thank you very much. Excellent. See that one. Here we go. Have to put that one in my contact list. Orange Kick, there we go. Duro on the way to Yao. There we go. Use it or lose it. I think that's in my use it. Use it or lose it, Connor. There we go. Thank you very much. Giro on the way. Nice one. Aaron, this one's for you. I'm sure you're in my contacts as well. Yep, got it. Aaron G. Giro on the way. And Connor G. Saw you in there. Here we go. C-O-N. Connor G. C-O-N. Got it. Next. Swiping to send. That's one. Keith Fellows. Big blocks. There we go. B-I-G-B. They got it. Excellent. Giro on the way. There we go. Matty Ray, still need your one in there. Can't remember what it is. Don't think I've seen it before. Yeah, I think that's everybody. Yeah, great stuff. There we go. Right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. Please go back and listen to my stats show, because the big news of the stats show is that the Scaling Test Network registered a new record for transaction volumes per second. Check it out. Look at this right now. Okay, no, look at that. 19,866 transactions per second on the Scaling Test Network, which runs parallel to the network itself. So that's what they're capable of. That's what the network is actually officially capable of. It has actually done that. Absolutely sensational. So there we go, peeps. Hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, I'll always be doing the stats show tomorrow because I absolutely love it. And then sometimes we'll do comedy news in the afternoon, followed by the main show live at 5. So until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, joy giving. Catch you guys later. Get paid for posting your pics on Relica. Download the app now at www.getrelica.com. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Support independent content creators on micropayment platforms such as Streamanity, Twitch and Relica. We should profit from our data, not the large corporations who track, monitor and sell it. If you enjoy the Bitcoin content that I produce, please support me by heading over to www.satoshi.tv, where you can keep up to date with all the latest news, gossip and content as it's created. Thanks very much. To get started in Bitcoin, go to freebsv.com, where you can claim your free Bitcoin. Then head over to Twitter and follow @IamSatoshi, where you can take part in his very generous and world famous free giveaways. The future of advertising meets the power of Bitcoin at Tonic Pow. Get paid for posting advertising campaigns to your social media profiles. Go to www.tonicpowads.com.